What is good, YouTube? Blaze Shadowthorn here, back again with an RU match, this time against Mulvone19. Pretty fun, cool match. He does get hacks a little bit. There is a lot of hacks in this game, which just makes it for a pretty interesting match. Looking over at my team, I wasn't really sure. I mean, I haven't played RU that much, so it was a pretty close match. I sort of just brought threats, because I wasn't entirely sure what to do. He brought a pretty threatening thing. Most threatening, noticeable thing definitely is that Durant, because Durant pretty much runs rampant through my entire team. The only thing I really have to counter that is my Embor. And he has a sock, which I'm pretty sure is Choice Scarf since most are. And that also could be a very, very big threat. So those two things are definitely tops on my things to get rid of. I really have no counter for the sock. For the Durant, I have my Embor, which I know can take a Stone Edge, and then of course he has the option of missing it, and especially with Hustle, it's pretty good for that front anyways. Gonna lead off the Slowking as I lead off my Drapion. Pretty powerful matchup for me. He's gonna switch out, he's gonna go out into his Hitmontop. Really should have predicted this, went for the Poison Jab, but again, I didn't want to predict too much. I just went straight away for the crunch right off the bat, so I really didn't want to play around with predictions too much right now, but you know, we'll see what goes on later. So right off the bat, I'm gonna switch out now because I don't want to take like a close combat, maybe an EQ. I'm not entirely sure what this thing wants to do. So I end up pulling a double out into my Reuniocloses. He ends up pulling a double out into his Durant, which is just like, okay, that's definitely really bad for me. I'm gonna switch out, gonna go back out into Shadowthorn, because again, what do I have to handle this Durant? I don't have much to handle this Durant. He's gonna go for the X's, unfortunately for him, he is gonna miss. You might be wondering, why can you miss 100% accuracy? Hustle. You lowers your accuracy by one stage and raises your attack by one stage, I think, so. Anyways, gonna go back out into the Hitmontop. Again, I go for Crunch because I don't want to over-predict. That's the biggest thing, and especially with that Durant on the field. I didn't want to go for a Poison Jab and him end up going for Stone Edge, another X-Scissor, and doing mad damage to my Drapion. Didn't want that to happen, so again, I play it safe, go for the safe Crunch. Right here, though, I am going to, last time I switched out, this time I'm going to stay and go for the Poison Jab. Maybe get a Poison off on this Hitmontop. That would be nice. Unfortunately, not going to happen. He is going to go for that Brick Break. Good thing to note, he does not appear to have close combat, which does lead me to believe that this is more defensive Hitmontop. So that is definitely good information to know, good information to keep in the back of my mind, as he's going to go out back out into the Kevin on my Poison Jab. Then he's going to Iron Head me, and that Iron Head is going to knock me out. So down goes Drapion. I really have nothing to deal with this thing properly. As I see his Life Orb, so that's good information now. Gonna go out into my Embor now. And my Embor is not Choice Scarf like most Embors in RU. Although I am Jolly Max Speed, I am actually Flame Plate to bluff the band, I believe is what I wanted to do. So anyways, I'm gonna end up going for a Wild Charge, predicting the switch out into his Slowking. In hindsight, I really probably should have ended up going for the superpower regardless, or, you know, like, maybe even a Flare Blitz, because it would have done a lot of damage. But, unfortunately for me, misses Toxic, which, again, just, like, so much hacks. It's kind of funny. But, in the end, a big mistake on my part is what ends up, mattering in the end. I do make a critical misplay. No spoilers, though. So, he's gonna go out into the Slowking now. He pretty much knows he can take a Wild Charge, and I know he can take a Wild Charge too. I just want as much damage off of this thing as possible. Probably shouldn't have done that in all honesty, just because this Embor is the only thing that I have to handle that Durant properly. And if he would have scalded right there, I would have been in some pretty bad trouble, because I really do need this Embor. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch out. I'm going to go out into my Rotom, because I know I can take a Scald, I know I can take a Psyshock, either one. And then I can threaten out everything on his team with a Volt Switch, as I do take that Psyshock pretty nicely. And now I'm here, the Scarfed Rotom is here, and yeah, I can threaten out the Slowbro, which I do end up happening. Slowbro gets threatened out, he's going to go out into the Spiritomb, which I'm cool with that, I'm fine with that. I end up going for a Volt Switch because there was legitimately no reason for me to click anything else. So, go for the Volt Switch, do some pretty decent damage out on that Spiritomb, and I'm gonna go into Vegan, cause with the hearts, cause that's I don't know why, but adaptability Dragalge is here, and it's just gonna drop a Draco on that Spiritomb. I ran a calc because I know Dragalge is really slow, but I also know that Spiritomb's really slow, and Spiritomb actually has base 30 speed, and I have base 44 speed, so I was guaranteed to outspeed it. Because I didn't want any unnecessary damage, because Dragalge does threaten out a lot of things on his team with an adaptability Draco. It pretty much knocks out everything on his team, or 2 KOs everything on his team. So he really has no safe switch-ins on it. I'm going to bring out my Reuniclus pretty much as Death Fodder because I have nothing. I have nothing to do. I have nothing to handle this stupid Durant. It's just like running rampant through my entire team. So I end up losing my Reuniclus, does absolutely nothing this game, which really does kind of suck. But at the same time, it's, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when you're faced with a Durant? You pretty much have nothing to handle it. Gonna go on to the Emboar though, however. Have no fear. The Emboar is here. So I do threaten out the Durant, which is pretty good. And he ends up going out to a Simisear, which is like, okay, so I'm just gonna click Flare Blitz, because YOLO. And yeah, that's gonna do a nice amount of damage to that Simisear, not gonna lie. It definitely did good chunk of damage. And I risk it for the biscuit, I stay in, and he misses Fire Blast, so my risk does pay off. Because again, I really had no better option than to stay in here. I could have switched out into my Dragalge, I suppose. But, I mean, I probably should have actually switched out to my Dragalge. I really see no reason why not to. That was a really stupid play, actually. So anyways, he's gonna bring out the Sock, and now this is the other thing I'm caring about. So I do have to switch out here because obviously I have nothing. So gonna go out into my Rotom pretty much as Death Fodder because I have nothing better to do. I mean, I could have saved him, yeah, but I don't know. I have nothing. I have nothing for this Sock. But anyways, what I'm gonna do is though, since he locked himself into the close combat, I'm hoping this thing's scarfed. I'm banking on the fact that this thing's scarfed, and I can drop a Draco on something as he switches out. But instead, he opts to stay in here in close combat, which is, oh, it's even better because I get to knock out this huge threat known as Sock. So I do fire off a Dracometer Meteor on the Sock, as he obviously he's scarfed as you saw, but he actually reveals to be sturdy as well. So that caught me a little bit off guard, but overall it's not that big of a deal, as he's just gonna do a bit more damage off on Vegan with another close combat, as I'm forced to hope I don't miss a Draco and just bop him with a Draco. Unfortunately for me, I do not miss my Draco. However, Vegan is pretty much dead at this point in time, not only just because it's a low HP, also it has -4 in special attack, and it's really freaking slow, so I have pretty much absolutely no reason to keep this thing around. Just gonna sack it off again, feeding the beast of this match known as Kevin. Note to self, never ever ever underestimate Durant in RU. It is just so terribly powerful, and it's really scary. So I'm gonna bring back in the Emboar, and he ends up going for Rock Slide and he misses, which I get paralyzed, so you know, it's really nerve-wracking. But fortunately for me, he does miss twice, and I'm able to knock him out. I really think I could live a Rock Slide just because it's neutral, and I do have pretty decent bulk, but at the same time, I was at a low range of HP, so I'm not entirely sure if that miss really mattered or not. However, he's gonna bring out the Slowking, and I'm just gonna die off to a Psyshock, and this is where the critical misplay happens. I'm gonna bring out my Gallade. Or not my Gallade, my Glalie, and I ran a calc on it, and Adamant Glalie has like an 88 to 99% chance to, or the 88 to 99% damage output to a Slowking. So as long as I get a high damage roll with my Explosion, I pretty much won the game. And unfortunately for me, I calced it wrong. I calced him as an offensive Slowking, which he's actually a specially defensive one. So regardless, with the output of this Explosion, I should have went for a Crunch and then followed up with an Explosion, then I would have won the game. But unfortunately for me, because he had no chance to Oko me. But the reason why that did so little damage was because I actually have no EVs in this Glalie whatsoever. No attack, no special, no speed, no HP, no nothing. It's just a completely blank Glalie. So that ended up costing me the match. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like and a comment. Definitely check out Mulvone19, and I will see you all next time. Bye.